afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the qualifying session here in Brazil at the Interlagos circuit. As you can see, the qualifying is already underway, and Jeffrey Rietveld has a provisional pole. Currently, we're following Twister car into Curva della Virginia, and let's see here what happens. A lot of people seem to be on their outlaps, and as you can see, the qualifying here is a private session, and it's because people didn't want to get an unfair advantage on the uphill battle here on the start-finish straight, as well as, Resta Oposta here at the track, before turn 4, which would have been pretty hard on most drivers. And just past the finish straight here have the Senna S. We have the Twister driver. Going into turn 4 nicely here, and let's see what sector 1 time we had. Apparently, sorry, we can't see what sector 1 time we had. This session doesn't show the live timing for each sector, which we're sorry for that, but some things happened. The original server got shut down, so we had to open a spare one, and currently we have myself, Dan Rasmussen, doing commentary, and Jaakko Mikkonen working the cameras, and we're trying to do it as best we can here, managing the current situation. Let's see here if this lap time turns out to be any good at all. No, he doesn't improve his time. A lot of drivers currently on their outlaps. Here you can see precision guys, as well as Precision MacCorp drivers are on their outlaps right now, and that's what happened here. Most people are doing virtually the same thing. And currently we're gonna see Matthias Stari, our championship leader so far, definitely looking to build a gap here in this race. He's only 11 points ahead of his teammate, Cyril Werdmüller, and he also can see that Dimitri Matos is a threat from behind. Hopefully Starry managed to pull off a pretty good qualifying today, but Rietveld is still on provisional pole, and let's see here, up the hill for Matthias Starry, coming into the Senna chicane shortly, past Curva do Sol into Resta Oposta, follow into turn 4. Seems to be driving quite nicely so far, and pretty short straight there, followed by right-hander, which some drivers might call Curva della Virginia, the original name. Then it's turn 8, the slow turn 9, the left-hander, and usually on first gear. Then up into Bico de Pata, and followed by the straight on Mergulho straight. Basically you accelerate it to a small corner, followed by Yun Sao, and just up the hill. As fast as you can on the throttle, just keep accelerating, no slowing down in the corners here, just to stop finish straight and just try to get the best time you can. As you can see, he's trying, and hopefully he'll manage to improve a little bit. And he doesn't, he still stays in P10. Stefan Kanitz on an outlap currently, and he's in second place, so he definitely is someone who's looking to damage Jeffrey Rietveld provisional pole time, which Kanitz, Keithley just moved into second, so Kanitz into third, and now Kanitz will be probably even more motivated just to get the position back. And Kanitz on his outlap, so he doesn't have to worry too much yet because there's still enough time for him, even if he doesn't get a perfect lap, a perfect hot lap here. He still has another shot at the final minutes. And let's see here, he's going up the hill now. Gonna start the lap. And into the Senna S in the beginning, followed by Curva del Sol. Into the straight Resta Posta here. Followed by turn 4. Let's see if he can get a nice run into turn 4 and turn 5. And shorter straight here after the turn. Then it's a right-hander. Curva de la Rancha. And then it's back to first gear. First gear. I think Kanitz was actually a bit outside the track there in sector 2 with all his wheels, so hopefully he won't get a penalty for that after the race finish, because it definitely looked like he was outside with all fours in sector 2. Anyway, up Yunshao here, turn 12, and up the straight, just keep accelerating, full throttle here up, and he decides to abort the lap. Jeffrey Rietveld here is just about to start his next hot lap. Or it's just about to end it, it seems. I'm just gonna have to check here. Still going though. And Rietveld does indeed improve his time by a tenth of a second, so very good job by him. Improving his provisional pole by another tenth, so I don't think anyone will actually be able to beat Rietveld here in qualifying. We'll have to see if he has any race pace here to go, and let's see if maybe Jack Keithley is gonna try to hurt Jeffrey here in the end of the session just to get pole position back from him. And Keithley's in second place after all. He's definitely a guy who can still be a threat for Jeffrey's pole time here, so hopefully he can do something amazing here. He's about to start his flying lap, I think. And let's see here what happens. Into the Senna S. You know, past Curva Sol. Long straight to Red Posta. Followed by turn 4, you know, you have to get a good braking there, but you don't want to brake too much because you want to have the speed out of that corner so you can get it on the straight afterwards. You don't want to risk it too much. Followed by an easy right-hander, La Rancha, and followed by, you know, turn 8, slow turn 9, very very slow turn 9 here, and after left-hander you go up to Bico de Pato, and which is also basically a first gear corner. You know, you basically slow down completely. Slight left-hander, but you still on full throttle, and then into Yunshao you brake, try to get most of speed out of it so you can use it up the hill. You can climb out that hill, but he decided to abort. He will still have another go though, because as you saw he's going on an after lap, so he will still have time to do another lap here. And we're with Jeffrey Rietveld, I think, on pole. I don't know if he's about to finish a lap or if this is his out lap. I think it's a real lap because he seems to be pushing hard. And let's see here. He decided to abort it, and will he have another go? No, it doesn't look that way. And let's go back to Jeff Keithley on his out lap. He still has enough time to finish this out lap and still do the hot lap. So it's gonna be his last attempt, I think. I don't think he has enough time to do another one at least. So even though this is a very short track, there's still not enough time. He's about to start his last flying lap here. And let's see if he can do anything to hurt Jeffrey Rietveld's pole position time. SNS, the Curva do Sol. And it's a long straight turn 4. Very good overtaking up here. Turn 4, left-hander. You have to keep your throttle up there so you can have a good speed into the right-handers that are coming. The Curva do Larancino. Down to first gear corner, basically in turn 8 or second gear, depending on how fast you manage to take it. But he decided to abort, and that means he also doesn't have enough time to do another attempt. So it's basically over for him. Rietveld will have time to do a last flying lap. We look to the Senna S past Curva do Sol. The long straight, right off the straight. Let's see if he does a good sector 1 into turn 4. Get a good braking there, like I said before. Very good overtaking opportunity in the race, hopefully. And as mentioned before, the reason we're doing private qualifying here is because we didn't want anyone to get a slipstream advantage here by working together on the back on the start-finish straight and in red up also. So we had to do this to ensure that the qualifying was as fair as possible. And currently it looks like no one's gonna be a threat to Jeffrey Rietveld's time, and just basically have to say congratulations to him, even though the session isn't completely over. Doesn't look like anyone's gonna be able to damage his lap time. And qualifying is about to end right now. I think we can say congratulations to Jeffrey Rietveld on his pole position here in Interlagos. And at the end, actually took Keithley second place from him. So Ati Kirchhoff managed to qualify in second. The Matos or anyone in the top in the top places has gone up in the top of the qualifying here, so looks like a pretty open race.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
So we're about to go for formation lap here in Interlagos for the World Series race Saturday, and pole position currently is Jeffrey Rietveld, who has lined up himself on the grid. Second place is Atze Kirchhoff, followed by Jack Keithley in third. Fourth is Stefan Kanitz. Fifth is Reino Room. Sixth is Alain Fourth. Seventh is David Dominguez for Twister. Eighth is Fred Gosling. Ninth is Dimitri Dematos, who's in third place in the championship here, so not a strong qualifying by him. 10th is Alban Desli. 11th is Mohammed Patel. 12th is Sarah Birdmiller, who's also very low considering he's in second place in the championship and wants to beat Matthias Stare, who's in 13th, so nightmare lineup for Stare here. 14th is Santiago Nizza. 15th is Job van der Geest. 16th is Pablo Garcia. 17th is Giuseppe Marconi. 18th is Andriy Menko. 19th is the often commentating with us here, Scott Wild. 20th is Kostas Kantouras. 21st, is Kevin Booty. 22nd is Stephen Deem. And last place is made up by Kirkar and for the Delatraz BMB team. 71 laps here tonight, and Jeffrey is just about to line up here on the grid, so he's hoping for a good start here. I'd say on the inside he's definitely looking to take his position before the Senna S here, so obviously starting first here is, I think it's a big advantage, but you have to remember that the tires cool off here while they're the person to line up on the grid, so cold tires into turn 1 into the Senna S means that could be an accident here, so let's hope there isn't one and the race goes on smoothly. We're about to get off, and we're off! And Jeffrey gets a good start, but oh, Kirchhoff's on the inside! He managed to defend it. There are a lot of cars there. So some people definitely got hit out into a few corners there. Rietveld still in third with Keithley behind him, followed by Kirchhoff behind him, followed by Keithley. Kanitz making up some positions here, Reino Room actually making up a position there, so a lot of position change here at the start, a lot of battles here in the middle of the pack. Starry is already catching up to Dimitri Dematos, and actually Starry actually overtook Dimitri Dematos for 10th place here. I think they're still fighting a little bit for it, but Starry eventually managed to take 10th place away from Dimitri Dematos. See here at the back if anyone actually got hit or anything here. It doesn't look like there's any serious damage here because people still following closely here, so some people might have had some runoff, but doesn't look like all cars made it back whole, so no people retired at least, so at least everyone still racing here. And Rietveld is still in first place here, followed closely by Atze Kirchhoff into the long straight here. Question is, does Kirchhoff have the straight line speed to be able to challenge? Doesn't seem that way right now, but we don't really know his strategy yet. Kirchhoff's following Rietveld closely, and let's see at the back if there's any closer fights. Starry 9th overtook Fred Gosling as well, so Starry's making up positions here. I think he's trying to make sure that the fact that even though his qualifying wasn't amazing, he's gonna pick up the positions here in race pace and try to make sure he's still in it to win it here for the championship. And Atsi Karkov just put out the fastest lap, obviously following Rietveld so closely. It's obvious he has the race pace needed, but does he have the straight line speed? We don't know yet, so we're gonna have to see in the next coming lap. Ooh, and I think Kanitz is gonna have to defend hard against Rainer Room there, and Rainer Room does get the position. Yeah, Rainer Room overtakes Stefan Kanitz for 4th place. And Dave Dominguez also overtakes Kanitz. So Kanitz losing a lot of positions because he's being forced on the outside there. And actually LF4 also overtook Mohammed Patel there. Very close battle there for 4th. A lot of cars following each other. And it will be interesting to see. Actually, you can see Matthias Starr in 9th actually catching up to Mohammed Patel quickly because of that. And the gap there is too small and the slipstream is too big, so can't really pull away there. Reino can't really pull away there from Dave Dominguez in 5th. Now that 4th fighting for 6th position, yes, and he does it. He took it into the Senna as a very nice overtake by him, overtaking Stefan Knitz, who's gonna fight back, I think, into turn 4, and Stefan Knitz takes the position back on the outside. Very tight racing by them, and now LF4 is gonna get attacked by Mohammed Patel here, I think. And I think LF4 managed to defend his position there. It's not over yet though. Patel's going for the inside. Didn't work. And now Patel instead is losing to Matthias Starr, and Starr looks to be able to fight for 8th there, and it's very close battles here indeed, and I think it's gonna be going on here for a while. Main question is can Starry get the straight line speed and be able to overtake with slipstream? Have to remember that he doesn't have a big slipstream advantage because Patel is actually having slipstream to the guy in front himself, so there's no actual slipstream advantage here because everyone is slipstreaming everyone here. The person with the big disadvantage is David Domingos, who's taken 4th from Rainer Room. Sorry we missed that overtake it seems, but a lot of things happen here in the beginning few laps. Patel is LF4 completely missed a turn there and lost several positions, so helped Matthias Starry up to 8th. Kirchhoff seems to be closing in on Rietveld here for first position, so gotta check that fight out. Does he have the straight line speed? It's less than half a second away of the last sector. Now it's down to 4 tenths and into the Senna S here. Let's see if he can do that turn the best, and pretty long straight here, so who wants to take him, now's the chance. Someone is about to get lapped as well, so very far behind so quickly. It doesn't work for Atsi there, so it doesn't look like he has that straight line speed to be able to be a big challenge for Rietveld now. Anyway, let's go further back. Kanitz is still in 6th place, trying to get back 5th here from Rainer Room. Misses a little bit on the outside there. Stefan still is pretty close to Rainer Room though, so looks like he's gonna try to get it back now. And he's very close now into the slipstream of Rainer Room, and he's probably gonna have a go here at the start-finish straight. Yep, turn 12. Kanitz is already on the inside. Kanitz already got 5th place from Rainer Room. Very beautiful overtake by him. So Knit's up into 5th, but I think Rainer Room will try to get him back here. Because his slipstream is very close, and Rainer Room goes on the outside and does it. Into the center. Beautiful overtake by Rainer Room, actually getting his position back, but this fight is far from over. It's another long straight, and you can see defensive line by Rainer Room. Gonna have to stick on the inside. Went back out a little bit there, but I think that's still okay. Managed to defend his position, but Knit's still going on the inside there. And they're very close indeed. And Knit's still hanging on to Rainer Room. And actually Mohammed Patel gaining a lot of time there on Knit's, and it's actually closing up to him quickly. And Knit's has to be careful now, otherwise Patel will have a go at him. It will definitely be interesting to see the race strategy here, if they're on 1 stoppers, 2 stoppers, or whatever they may be. It will be interesting to see who stops first here. Definitely a lot of place to be gained there. Rainer Room, probably looking in his rear view mirrors all the time here. 3 cars closely behind. Just a couple of tenths away behind every guy there for 5th place. Patel having a go at Knit's, and he makes it stick. And actually he helped Starry out as well a little bit there. I think they had a little push, and Starry's gonna have a go at Knit's as well. Starry on the outside of Knit's, didn't pull it off there. No, wait, he's going on the inside now. Will he do it? He didn't. Knit's managed to defend his position there. But Starry is very, very close now, and into turn here, and maybe he's gonna take him after Yun Sao here. Pretty close, still pretty close, still very, very close, so he doesn't do it there. Up to the finish straight though, up the hill here. Let's see if Precision has a better straight line speed than Ghost Speed does. If so, he has a very big chance here. Doesn't look that way though, and he takes a wider line than Knit's does. So it doesn't really work there for him. David Dominguez is gonna have to defend against Rainer Room for 4th position now. Into turn 4. And I think, ooh, Patel actually against Rainer Room, sorry, for 5th place. And they're still fighting for it though. Patel is actually a little bit in front of Rainer Room into that corner, but he's gonna make it out. Yes, he does. Patel overtakes Rainer Room there. Beautiful overtake by Mohammed Patel for 5th place. Looks like a lot of guys getting clustered up there. Let's see if we can manage to continue racing like this, or if we're going to end up with some broken front wings here. They're still very close to each other here, and Patel, does he have the straight line speed to defend against Rainer Room? It does, it seems, but Rainer Room hanging on to Patel very well there, and Rainer Room got a very good and Starry drove wide, so he lost the position to Fred Gosling, but he'll probably be back to that, and actually Sarah Birdmiller is right behind him now, and he's probably going to try to catch up to Fred Gosling quickly now. And Rainer Room spun! Rainer Room spun! Rainer Room spun! I think he got bumped by Knit's. I'm not sure, but guess Jaco will have to give us a replay if that's the case. I think he was spun. Yeah, it definitely looked like Knit's hit him a little bit there. So I don't know how hard it was. Probably wasn't intentional by Knit's, you know. They've been racing hard for so many laps, so incidents like these happens, and Starry, I think, is trying to take Fred Gosling now into turn 1, and yes, he does. No, wait, maybe he doesn't. It's very, very close into Senna as she can, but Starry eventually pulls it off, and Starry is up into 7th place now, with Sarah Birdmiller in 9th, and we'll be interested to see if Gosling would try to defend his position against Cyril here. Definitely doesn't look that way. Looks like Gosling just said, hey, I'm letting you through here. I'm not going to defend against you, Cyril. I know you're fighting for the championship here against Starry, and he's not choosing to be biased against any of his teammates here. It definitely looks like Patel is slowing this group down, and Patel is close to being followed by Knitz here, and maybe it was Rain and Room who was actually slowing it down, and don't see where Rain and Room is now. He doesn't appear to be out, so still racing, but he lost a lot of position there. Oh, he's down in a lonely 13th place. Knitz just pulled off the fastest lap of the race. Obviously catching up to Mohammed Patel that way. And he's gonna have a go at Mohammed Patel into turn 4, I think. He's very close. And Patel managed to defend. Yeah, Kenneth still pushing, and meanwhile at the front we have Rietveld still defending against Atse, and doesn't look like Rietveld is able to pull a gap here, but you know, it's a very hard track to pull a gap on, because even if it's faster in sector 2 and sector 3, Atse gets it all back via the slipstream on the up the hill, so let's see if Atse can be close enough to actually be a threat to Jeffrey here, and it'll be interesting to see if he catches up a bit with the slipstream. He's following Rietveld very closely here, and as you can see, only 2 tenths here into the Senna F, and can hang on well to Rietveld here. He's going to be a threat into turn 4. And let's see here. He definitely will be, because it looks like he had a good straight line speed, and someone in front is about to get lapped, and it looks like Atse's taking it. Yes, indeed he did. Atse took P1, but he spins! He spins off! And Atse is losing several positions there. I think he was too hard into that corner. And Atse is down into 4th place now, with Jack Keithley just gained a position 2nd, David Dominguez in 3rd, and Atse in lonely 4th. Gotta check out the replay there. I think Atse decided he wanted to overtake, but he braked a little bit too late there. And that's what made him spin and just lose 2 positions. And I think he also lost most of the chances he had for a race win here. A bit overzealous by Atse Kirchhoff actually, but he had to attempt it, because he saw that he had Rietveld very close to him, and just pushed a little bit too hard here. Knitz and Patel still fighting for 5th place. And Knitz actually overtook Patel here. Oh no, Patel's fighting back into the Senna as he can. But no, Knitz get it ultimately, and actually helped out Starry quite a lot, because now Starry's pretty close behind as well. So, gonna be a freeway battle into turn 4? Doesn't look that way. Looks like Knitz has straight line speed to be able to defend there. These 3 cars have been pretty close all day, and they still are, of course. Knitz is actually caught up to Atse. There's no way that's a lap car in between them. Sorry about that, but it's definitely still a big gap between Atse and Knitz. So Atse will have to try to push so he can catch up to Dominguez first. But enough about that. It's Star against Patel here into the start-finish race. Looks like Starry has a good slipstream here on Patel. And Story goes for the inside. Definitely going for it, and it looks like, yep, it is. Story overtook him, and 6th place belongs to Matthias Story. Beautiful run by him in the 600 chicane. Really showing why he thinks he deserves to be champion here, but Patel is gonna take it back, it seems, into turn 4. Yes, he does. And it's still freeway battle here. Story's took the position back again from Patel, and eventually he got him here. Verdmuller pretty close behind Patel here. Verdmuller might have a go on the outside. Oh, he didn't. And the lap car just letting everyone through there. Being blue flag, of course, because, you know, if you're a lap down, you have to let everyone through, so very unfortunate race for him. He's gonna have to slow down now. But Story's showing brilliant form here, overtaking a lot of cars. 2-second gap up to Keithley, but it's closing in fast quickly now because it's a little bit of slipstream here, Keithley it seems, and actually gap's just 1.4 seconds now, so definitely looks like he has some straight line speed there he can use against Keithley later on in the race. And Verdmuller drove a little bit wide there, and he lost position to LF4. And the question is, will Ford defend against his sister teammates? Well, actually, Born to Win are not officially any teammates of the McCord position, so guess they will fight it out now. And a mistake like this is very dangerous for Cyril, as he's in 2nd place in the championship, and Matthias being pretty strong here, and he can't afford to make mistakes like this, otherwise he's giving up his chances of becoming drivers' champion this year. Mohammed Patel still following Matthias Story closely for 6th place, but looks like there's a little bit of a gap. And I think there's one driver enjoying himself the most here, and that's Jeffrey Riedfeld onto the straight. Pretty lonely race now that Ati Kirchhoff spun when he tried to overtake him, and 2.5 second gap. It doesn't look like anyone's a big major threat to him. Keithley's having trouble hanging on to David Dominguez, and actually Keithley lost a position to David Dominguez. I think Keithley actually must have spun or something, because David Dominguez wasn't in 2nd place. So Keithley actually lost a position, and maybe it's because he doesn't have the race pace, or maybe he did a mistake. But Ati Kirchhoff is catching up to him pretty quickly, and he's gonna have to look in his rear view mirror soon, because Ati's coming up close. He's coming by quickly to him, and not a good sign for Jack Keithley here. It's early in the race, and a couple of tenths, you know, shedded. Another couple of tenths shedded by Ati Kirchhoff, and I think Ati Kirchhoff is still determined to try to win this race, even though he lost so much after spinning. The gap is down to 1 second between Kirchhoff and Keithley now, and the gap is closing in quickly. You have to remember that Kirchhoff is very quick on this track. He just spun and lost a couple of positions, and those positions are definitely positions he wants to take back. And let's see if Keithley will be able to defend against him. Gap is now down to 0.8 of a second, so he's definitely closing in here. I don't know if Jack might have a injured car or something, because he slowed down a lot for some reason. Or maybe he's just saving his engine. We're not sure about that yet. The gap down to 0.6 of a second now, and it's losing time quickly. Now you can see Atsi right behind him. Ati's gonna catch him at the end of this lap, I think, a little bit. Probably a little too far behind to overtake him, but maybe not. Ati's certainly going for it, and he does. I think he got him. Oh wait, Kirchhoff spun off again while trying to overtake. A bit overzealous again. And now Kirkhoff is down into 7th place behind Mohammed Patel. And this certainly cost Atsi a lot of his chances to win this race. Gonna have to check a replay there. He's going up, went for the inside against Jack Keithley, but it didn't work. Braked too late and just kept running straight, but running straight quickly is a good thing normally, but not if there's a strong left-hander. So too bad for Atsi. Couldn't make that move stick. So a lot of positions down. Obviously, he will try to get those positions back, but if his chances were destroyed by the last overtake he tried, this overtake definitely destroyed his chance of winning this race even more. And I think Rietveld is very happy about that, because now he's 3 seconds ahead of this of the precision of the twister guy, or the other twister guy in this race, and not a very big threat. But Atzi's definitely gonna try to overtake Patel here, and Kirkhoff manages to stick it this time, I think, and Kirkhoff is up at the 5th place. And Matthias Dari actually is the first guy to pit. He's coming back out in 10th place. So Starry, first guy to pit after 18 laps. Perfectly timed stop by Starry, because he got clear air in front of him, and 2 seconds behind him is Alain Fault, but he won't be a threat now that Starry has fresh tires. We'll be interested to see now if any of the top guys respond to Starry's pit stop. Doesn't look that way. Knit didn't stop. Kirkhoff doesn't stop. Patel didn't stop. And Job van der Geest is too far behind to actually be... Actually, Job van der Geest actually did stop now, so... Job van der Geest stopped. He will probably end up behind Starry, it seems. Actually, he has to. He has to come up behind. A couple of new fastest laps, and fourth pit as well. So same thing with Sarah Verdmüller and Gosling. So a lot of people here are already pitted, and we'll be interested to see what happens with the guys who haven't pitted, like the Matos and Reino Room, who if they're gonna lose a lot of time here now per lap, I think, and maybe this is different strategies. Maybe some people are on 2 stoppers, some people are on 1 stoppers. Maybe that's why people haven't decided to pit yet. But definitely interesting to see how late people pit. And our race leader Jeffrey Rietveld decided to pit now as well. And Jeffrey comes out in 5th place. Knit pits as well. So it seems like a lot of guys are on similar strategies now as they all pit. Rietveld came out in 5th place with 4 seconds in front to Patel, so very good stop by him. He's gonna have advantage of clear air with the fresh tires, which is a very important thing here. So let's see if Dominguez decides to respond to his pit stop. Dominguez is in the last part of the 2nd sector now. It'll be interesting to see if he says it's time for me to pit as well, or if he says no, I'm not gonna pit at all yet. I'm just gonna wait a bit. Dave Dominguez decides not to pit, so let's see a further bit back in the field. Starry seems to have gained a position on Knit by pitting earlier than him. But now, of course, Knit has the advantage of a lap fresher tires. Yes, in fact, he does. He pitted 1 lap later and he lost the position. But Knit will fight here. Knit's on the inside. Knitz makes the move stick, I think. Star tries to... Ooh! Can't do that, Star. Knitz has nothing to lose, and you can't try to push him there because Knitz is not the type of guy that moves there. So, not a good idea by Star unless he wants to go to the pits again, I guess. Because he might lose the front wing here fighting against Knitz. Which is something obviously the Matos and Vernier would like, but I don't think this would benefit Starry that much. The Mingus still decides not to kill. Another Ford is catching up to Starry right now. I think it's due to the fight with Knitz. Ford managed to catch up a little bit, you know. The two of them fighting obviously made him lose a lot of time. So things like that happen, and Ford is right behind Starry now. Rainer Room just posted the fastest lap, obviously on fresh tires. He's having a pretty lonely race there with no one that close in front, so... Actually the Matos is close in front, but the Matos also made a stop now, so... No tire advantage there anymore, so... Room won't be able to fend him off at all, I don't think so. And Rietveld is catching up to Patel very quickly now for 4th position, and Patel is defending here. You have to remember Patel hasn't stopped yet, while Rietveld was the race leader before he pitted. So Rietveld will have to overtake here, so he doesn't lose time being behind Patel here. And he makes the move tick. And Rietveld up into 4th position here. And the next guy is gonna catch is Kirchhoff. Pretty surprising that Kirchhoff and Keithley and Dominguez haven't stopped yet, so it definitely looks like they're on a different strategy than Rietveld is. Rietveld appears to be on a 2-stopper since he stopped so early, so maybe Kirchhoff still has a chance to win this, because if he's on a 1-stopper, or if even David Dominguez is on a 1-stopper, Rietveld has a lot of time to, he's got to catch up here, and Kirchhoff will make, will make it a living hell trying to get past him. Scott Wilde retired due to a suspension issue. I don't know what happened really. We didn't keep track of that in the back. But obviously must have been a fight with someone probably. The Star is still trying to catch Knitz there, but the Star using a different line than Knitz in the start-finish straight. I think Star is actually losing time using that different line he uses. Star is still trying to hang on to Knitz, but actually looks like Knitz is building a little bit of a gap now, so Star is probably not doing as well as he hoped to on the new fresh set of tires, so no good luck for him. Obviously Knitz has stopped as well, so he has no advantage real, but both of them are on fresh tires, so. Meanwhile, let's get over to Rietveld, who's catching Atzi Kirchhoff really quickly now, because have to remember Rietveld has pitted, Atzi hasn't, so Atzi's far behind. Obviously, Atzi's probably not fighting for the win against Rietveld anymore, but he can still make Rietveld's race a living hell here by defending his position. It's actually very close now. 8/10 of a second now. You can really see the advantage of grip Jeffrey has in comparison to Kirchhoff for third place. And Rietveld's gonna catch up to Kirchhoff pretty quickly now. And I think, yep, Rietveld just has caught up to him, and now he's gonna have to find a way to overtake him. Rietveld's gonna probably try it here on the start-finish straight. Gonna go for it, I think. Trying to take the inside line from Kirchhoff. Yes, he does. And he makes the move stick, I think. Yes, he does, but it's not over yet because Kirchhoff can still counter it into turn 4. It doesn't seem that way though. Rietveld has a little bit of a gap. Kirchhoff uses slipstream though. That didn't work, so great job by Rietveld getting third place. Definitely looks like both Keithley and Dominguez are on a one-stopper, which means that Rietveld still has to push, even though he was the race leader before he made a stop. So it's not over yet for him. It's not a cruise situation for him. Definitely has to keep pushing here. And I think Rietveld is catching up to Keithley now. Because, yep, just 0.6 of a second, so Rietveld's gonna have a go at Keithley here on this lap, I think. He uses slipstream there, but Keithley's probably gonna try to defend it. Doesn't work though, so Keithley lost position to Rietveld there, and definitely looks like Rietveld is able to win this race, but we don't know yet. He still has 7 seconds to Dave Dominguez, so it's far from over for him. Maybe this was a little bit of lacking in strategy for Rietveld. Maybe he should have stayed out longer as the other top guys are doing. Maybe he shouldn't have decided to, hey, I'm gonna go in first. Maybe that wasn't so smart. He had a 4-second gap almost to Dominguez before the stop, so maybe he should have just waited until Dominguez stopped and then stopped the lap later. Maybe that would have been a better strategy by Rietveld, but now instead he has to push here just to get the positions back. Because Rietveld now has 7 seconds to Dave Dominguez, and you have to remember that they both have 1 stop each, so it's not like Rietveld has a big advantage here. Also depends very much on the time Dominguez decides to stop, and I think Dominguez will stop pretty soon, since we're almost halfway through the race. It'll be interesting to see if Dominguez is stopping next few couple of laps, because right now Rietveld is catching up to him 0.5 second per lap, a little bit more actually, but we're gonna have to see when Dominguez decides to pit. Obviously, when Dominguez pits, he's going to be faster than Rietveld, so Rietveld won't gain much on the last few laps on his second stint. And actually, Kirchhoff overtook Jack Keithley as well, so Kirchhoff managed to get a position back. Kirchhoff is still in this fight actually, so Kirchhoff in third place now, but you have to remember Kirchhoff is 8 seconds behind Dominguez, and they are probably on similar strategies, so I don't think he has a chance to beat Dominguez, and I don't think he has a chance to beat Rietveld either now that I think of it, so at least a good podium position for Kirchhoff it seems. It just depends how much the guys behind will manage to catch up to guys in front, so have to see this in the next couple of laps. Gap is closing down quickly though, it's 5.8 at the start finish, so there's 5.8 seconds between Rietveld and Dominguez, so Rietveld is definitely catching up quickly. He knows he has to catch up very quickly now, because soon it's time for Dominguez's second stop, and Knows he has to catch up enough, so when he does his second, he doesn't have a lot of gap to, you know, try to catch him during the last couple of laps of the race. Starry not being able to pull a gap from spot kind of worries me a little bit. That doesn't do that, but I guess he has different strategy in mind. Obviously, Kenneth is catching up to Patel rather quickly. You have to remember that Patel hasn't stopped yet while Kenneth has. Gap is down to 2 seconds now, and you can see that Kenneth is catching up quickly. Got 2.1 seconds still, so just means that the Kenneth maybe doesn't have the straight line speed after all here. And Jack Keithley is losing a lot of position. Oh, Jeff Keithley has decided to pit, and Jeff Keithley goes out of the pit box now, so Keithley pits. Keithley pits, and he's down in 12th position now, so lost a lot of positions there, but obviously has fresh tires, and he's done with all his pit stop for the race, but landed out in a lot of traffic there, so maybe not the best time pit stop for him, as he's going to come up behind Dimitri Demastos and Job van der Geest here, and they're going to defend their positions very hard against him. Let's see if Dave Dominguez decides to pit this lap. Maybe he does, because tires should be pretty worn now. But no, he doesn't. He decides to go for another lap. Pretty shocking, actually. And he's almost halfway through now, so can't be that many laps he's having to go. And Rietveld is just 4 seconds behind now, so Rietveld's catching up quickly to him. And Atzi Kirchhoff pits. Atzi Kirchhoff pits, meaning that Dave Dominguez will have to pit soon, since these guys are probably on similar strategies. Ooh, and Patel actually pit on the same lap, so Knit's up at the 3rd position now, as 2 guys pitted in front of him, and Knit will have to push hard now, because Knit knows he has another stop to go, and he wants to be able to use the better tires after his 2nd stop to be able to take Patel in the finishing stage of the race. The gap is now down to 3 seconds, and will Dominguez pit this lap? Let's see. Yes, he does. David Dominguez pits this lap, and this obviously gives the first place positions back to Jeffrey Rietveld. Jeffrey Rietveld in 1st place now, but Jeffrey still has to push, because he knows he doesn't have a tire advantage now. He has a tire disadvantage against David Dominguez, and David Dominguez will obviously be a big threat for his race here. But maybe Matthias Starry will come out in front of David Dominguez, and that will obviously ruin his chance a little bit. Let's see here how close they will be. And Starry came out just in front of Dominguez, and looks pretty bad. And Dominguez gets 4th place, comes out in 4th place, but now he's right behind Starry, so we'll have to defend, because Starry will cost him a lot of time compared to Jeffrey Rietveld, and Dominguez knows he has to overtake Starry quickly now, otherwise Jeffrey can actually build a gap even though he has fresh tires. Can't get it all here, so he needs to push. Keithley actually fighting with Patel for 11th here, and Keithley right behind. Keithley has better tires here. Wait, they have probably same tires, which means that Keithley has lost a lot, because they are both on 1-stop strategies, so they've both done all their stops. And Dominguez is passing Starry into turn 1. Yes, he did, into the S chicane, and now I don't think Dominguez will have any problems continuing to push. And Atzi Kirchhoff just finished his race. I don't know what happened. I didn't see it, but was probably fighting someone there. But Atzi Kirchhoff is out of this race, meaning one less threat for Rietveld to go. And The race win definitely looks to be a battle between Rietveld and David Dominguez here. Looks like a disconnect by him, so maybe it was technical difficulties that made him. It will definitely be interesting to see him talk here after the race if he decides to do it. Currently, Rietveld in front, 12 seconds ahead of Stefan Kanetz. But Stefan Kanetz is not a threat because Stefan Kanetz is on the same strategy as he is. So the real threat is David Dominguez, and will David Dominguez be able to catch Rietveld a little bit? And because, well, actually, he will be catching up slowly to him, but Rietveld has another stop to go, and as you can see, David Dominguez pushing hard and just put out the fastest lap of the race. So definitely catching up, and he was actually 8/10 quicker than Rietveld on the last lap. So catching up 8/10 per lap, that's a lot of time Rietveld is losing now in comparison to David Dominguez. Let's go further back down the grid. Keithley seems to be defending against Dimitri Dematos here for 10th place. Definitely looks like Keithley's having issues here. Don't know why, but he's behind Patel now. You have to remember Patel and him are on the same strategies, and Keithley used to be in 2nd place, so Keithley has really lost out a lot here in the race, and maybe he doesn't have the race pace, maybe something has happened to his car. I'm not sure yet, but 3 cars definitely close, and it definitely looks like Keithley's holding them off because Dimitri Dematos was closely behind him for a couple of laps, and now Rainer Room has actually also caught up to them. So Keithley looks to be holding them off a little bit, and maybe it's because Keithley's defending, so they won't catch up to Mohammed Patel as well, who is Keithley's teammate in the DHR Simcraft. But it doesn't look that way right now, and a lot of people driving pretty lonely races except Keithley, and someone letting Keithley through there. I think that's a lap car just driving off the track just to give them room into the Senna S chicane. Very good idea by him, you know, you don't want to create a crash into the Senna S because then cars can get stockpiled together there, and you don't want to see that in a race because then nothing, you know, basically happens to, then basically all the cars gets crashed into a big pile, and when that happens, you know, everyone's out of the race. Anyway, I think we'll have that's Kirchhoff in the lobby. Maybe we can convince him to get over here and have us a little chat about what happened to him in the race. Let's see if he decides to come over. David Dominguez catching up to Stefan Kanetz very quickly now. Gap is down to less than a second, 8/10 of a second, and Dominguez has the advantage of the fresher tires now because, you know, Dominguez pitted 10 laps later, so definitely has an advantage in tires here. Let's see if he can make the best of this, or let's see how hard Kanetz decides to defend against David Dominguez here. Dominguez still closing up to him by a lot actually. 8/10 of a second was in the last sector. Let's see if it closes in a little bit more here. Definitely looks that way. Definitely looks to be less than 8/10 of a second now. It's actually down to, well, actually it's down to 7/10 of a second. So he didn't gain that much, but a little bit. Another 10th from that sector, so it's closing in. And here he has the slipstream advantage, so should be able to close in a lot on Kanetz here. And let's see if he does. Yes, the gap is down to 4/10 of a second, and it's gonna have a go pretty soon, I think. And still closing in up in the straight here. Soon going into turn 4. Let's see if Dominguez will have a go at him here. No, he doesn't. Not yet. Not into turn 4, but he's still falling very, very closely. So definitely gonna try something here. It's gonna try to pull off on the inside, I think. No, it doesn't work. Kanetz doesn't give him the room he needs, I think. And as you can see, there was someone who crashed. I think it was Booty who crashed in the wall there. He's obviously a lap down, so Not a main contender for the race win here tonight, but still sad to see him go. Obviously he would have wanted to have points for the race finish, but that's not gonna happen now without a front wing. And I think he lost a tire as well, so probably not gonna be able to finish this race. David Dominguez up into the hill here, out into the start-finish straight, and he's very close. At the advantage of the slipstream now. He's gonna go for it, I think. Will he? Will not? Does have the straight line speed, it seems, to be able to take the position from him. Knitz was kind of weaving there, but don't think it was that serious yet. And Dominguez just took the position away from Knitz, and Dominguez into second place, and now the next person in front is Jeffrey Rietveld, who we obviously can't catch right now, but you have to remember that Rietveld has another stop to go, so Rietveld will lose a lot of time to Dominguez once Rietveld stops, but Rietveld will have the advantage in the end with the fresher tires for the last part of the stint. Would be interesting to see if Atse will decide to join us. He's more than welcome to. Obviously, since I'm not admin here, I don't have the privilege to be able to move him into our green room, but whenever he feels like it, he's free to join and talk about what happened to him in the race. Good day to you, Atse. What happened to you in the race?
Hi Dan, my internet was gone. I don't know what happened, but suddenly all the race, the cars were flipping. Well, normally my internet is perfect, but I checked my ping a couple of times and it was good too, and cars were flipping in front of me. That's why I was suddenly in a hurry to pass Jeffrey, because it wasn't drivable that way, and yeah, passing him didn't went well. After that it got even worse, and my internet just disappeared, and now it's back, and probably it will leave again, and I don't know what's happening. It's not good. I hope it's fixed tomorrow.
Okay, is that the same reason why your overtake on Jeff Keithley didn't stick, because your internet connection was so bad that you couldn't, get the braking line correctly because of the lag?
Well, he was like, when you have a bad connection, he's flipping all around, and I just took a lot of space and just to not hit him, because it was so unpredictable. And yeah, I don't know if that was the reason, because I still brake too hard, I guess. I even set my brake pressure all the way to the front just to prevent spinning like that, but it didn't work at all. It's just a mess. I'm very sad right now.
Very sad news indeed. Do you think David Dominguez, your teammate, is going to be able to take this win for you then instead?
Can you update me? What is his position and what is the strategy?
David Dominguez appears to be on a similar strategy to you, on a one-stopper, while Rietveld is on a two-stopper. Rietveld has made his first stop. Dominguez is 12 seconds behind, but he's catching up quickly because he has fresher tires and he's done with his stops. But Rietveld has another one to go.
In that case, yeah, I think he makes a big chance. It depends on Rietveld, his last stint. He's able to be consistently fast. Yeah, he should catch up with David again, but it's hard to say. I hope David can pull it off, because he really deserves it. He was very quick in practice, and well, it didn't went very well in quali for him, I saw. So he deserved his win. He's doing really well at the moment.
Yeah, he's in second place right now, so definitely just looking for a podium right now. But as it looks right now, Rietveld will come up behind him after Rietveld's second stop. But you have to remember that Rietveld will have advantage of much better tires than Dominguez in the last stint. So It's all about if David Dominguez will be able to defend his position against Rietveld on worse tires or not.
Do you know what lap he stopped, David?
He stopped on lap 33, I think.
Well, it's gonna be tricky. It's gonna be one hell of a fight. Well, besides the fact that I'm really sad, I'm looking forward to see that.
There's a lot of us are, and gap is down to 11.9 seconds now, so Rietveld will come up behind him after the stop, but the question is only how quickly Rietveld can catch up to Dominguez, as when Rietveld has the fresh tires, he will have a big advantage.
Yeah, I think so. But David is well on pace on this track. I expect him to be very consistent toward the finish line now. So first Jeffrey has to catch up, and after that he has to overtake him before he takes the win. So I don't really know. How long is a pit stop exactly? You know that?
I think you lose about 17 to 18 seconds here, so if it looks the way it looks right now, Jeffrey will come out around 6 seconds behind Dominguez.
Well, that's going to be a good fight then.
Obviously, Rietveld on worse tires also is having the disadvantage of constantly catching these lapped cars, you know. He's constantly lapping cars, and that obviously makes him have to be more careful, you know. Because, you know, you don't want to crash someone when you're lapping them, and that makes him lose even more time to Dominguez. Like at the last lap, he lost almost a second to Dominguez.
Yeah, that isn't really helping at all. Well, there are two sides on the back markers. First, if you hit them in sector 2, yeah, you lose some time, and well, even though the bed of dirty air isn't that bad here, but you can also pull a slipstream out of them, and yeah, that's in your advantage. But in case of Rietveld right now, he should be really careful, because a mistake would lose him the win surely. So I think it's now time for David to push as hard as he can, but still save his tires a bit. I don't know.
Sorry to interrupt you here, Kirka, but a lot of people are making their second stops in the race now, including Matthias Stari, and that probably means that the Rietveld stop is going to come out soon now.
Yeah, the sooner the better, I think.
I think the sooner the better for him, because he's losing almost a second per lap now, and I don't think he will gain that much by coming in 2 laps later than he was thinking.
No, and keeping in mind that David will go faster towards the finish line, because his fuel will be lower. I think it's gonna be a very interesting fight. Jeffrey is a good driver, and well, he's able to push as hard as he can, and being able to catch up. But David, yeah, he drove a lot of races in World Championship, and I think he has the right experience to win this race.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you now, but Jeffrey Rietveld just made his pit stop, and he's gonna come out in second place. Let's see how many seconds behind he is. That was Atsi Kirkhoff, ladies and gentlemen, and we're gonna have to see how far behind Rietveld is David Dominguez now. And Rietveld is now just 6 seconds behind Dominguez, around the estimate making, so looking like it's gonna be a pretty tough race here. catching up, but quickly. And still interesting to see how much retail is catching up. Okay, Karkov just informing that his internet is failing again and he can't continue to speak with us in stream, but good luck to him at least. Gap is down to 5 seconds now, and he's still catching up. Jeffrey's still catching up a lot. He catched 8/10 the last lap, so still definitely interesting to see how many laps. Just take him another few laps before he catches up, and then I think David Dominguez will be toast. Of course, David Dominguez, we don't know the straight line speeds between these two, and if David Dominguez has a big advantage there, he can still be able to defend. But so far, it still looks like Jeffrey Rietvel is having control of this match. Jeffrey's still in second place. Will be interesting to see further down the grid and see if anyone else are fighting for positions here. Knetz is actually fighting in 5th place, actually trying to overtake Jack Keithley and Patel. And he's going for it. And they're very close here, and gonna go in. I think he's gonna go out for it in the start-finish straight here. It's gonna come up soon. Sorry if the chat seems to be a little bit out of sync. I'm having a slight delay here on the stream, so hopefully everything with the audio and video quality still stays pretty well. And Kenneth has had a pretty hard race now, and Rietvel just 3.3 seconds behind, but let's see what happens. Keithley is taking 3rd place, he's still in 3rd place, and into the S chicane, and Patel in P4 and it's in P5. Looks like Knitz did another little bit touch on the DHR cars, and I don't think Knitz will be popular after this race because it seems like he does some small touches all over this track. Obviously Knitz has the better tires of these 3 cars, and that's why he's able to attack so much now, and pressure tires obviously helps him a lot here, and I think he's gonna have a go here into the start-finish straight. Knitz runs a little bit wide there into that corner, so into turn 12. I think he does a pretty good turn 12 though, so he has a pretty good straight line speed here. And Jeffrey's still catching up half a second per lap now, so he will catch up with. Jeffrey will basically catch up with 14 laps left of the race, so Jeffrey will David will definitely have a big job on his hand with 14 laps of defending against Jeffrey here, and with Jeffrey on much better tires than him, so definitely looks like a big problem for him. And Patel still chasing Jack Keithley here, and followed by Kanitz, and then followed by Matthias Starry. And Starry is obviously catching up with these guys as well, because you have to remember Starry is also on a much better tire, so Starry's going to catch up to these DHR cars very quickly. And if that happens, I think Starry's going to have a go for third place in this race if Kanitz doesn't get the job done before. Starry's definitely catching up with the DHR cars here, and DHR cars going to have to defend the last 19 laps or so against all the two-stoppers here. And pretty shocking that Kanitz isn't trying to overtake this early on, because Kanitz definitely has an opportunity, and looks more like Keithley's having to defend against Patel, and the DHR cars seem to be fighting against each other, with obviously Kanitz will gain a lot on. As you could just see from the onboard cam a bit earlier, you see that Kanitz just doesn't seem to have the straight line speed compared to the DHR cars. Maybe the DHR cars knew there will be one stopping and a lot of other guys are two stopping, so they decided to just max out acceleration and straight line speed, so so other people can't hit. And I think Kanitz just touched the back of Mohammed Patel a little bit again, so Kanitz not doing a completely clean race right now. We have some beautiful camera work by our own Rekko Mikkonen here, and Jeffrey's just 2 seconds behind, less than 2 seconds behind in the last start to finish straight, and Kanitz just doesn't have the straight line speed to be able to be a threat for the DHR cars. He's catching up a lot in Sector 2, but in Sector 1 and Sector 3 he's not actually catching up enough to be able to overtake. And this gives Matthias Starry behind an excellent opportunity to catch these guys, and you can see that Matthias Starry is very close, as the DHR cars are catching up to a lapped car, I think. Yep, that's definitely someone who's lapped. And the lapped car does a good job letting everyone through, including Al Arfat, who's also slowly catching up. And now I guess it looks like Mohammed Patel is going to have to defend again against Kanitz, because Kanitz really is trying to do the best of the situation here. Even though he doesn't have a straight line speed, he's still going to try his best just to get the position back. And Kanitz is definitely the closest fight right now for a position here. And Starry also catching up a little bit here. So indeed Starry might be able to try to attack Kanitz pretty soon if Kanitz doesn't get the job. So it's turn 12 here. Past turn 12 up straight, up start finish straight here. And is Kanitz close enough? It's close enough this time. It's a lot closer than last time, but is it close enough? It doesn't seem that way. It seems like the DHR cars are... Is Patel actually having a go? Yeah, Patel is having a go on Keithley, I think. And Patel gets it. Patel overtakes Jack Keithley into there, but Keithley's gonna try to get it back, thanks to the slipstream. Yep, Keithley's trying to get the position back here. And Kanitz had a little bit of a look there, and Keithley gets the position back into turn 4, very beautifully by Keithley. Very well, very nice fighting between the DHR cars here, and this obviously doesn't help Kanitz's chances, because the two cars in front fighting obviously makes them lose time, and everyone behind is able to catch up, and now I can see that Starry is hungry. Now Starry is right behind, and the gap between David Dominguez and Rietveld is 0.2 seconds now. So Jeffrey has caught up to David Dominguez now, and now we'll be able to. Now we'll have to look how many laps he's going to be able to defend. And Dominguez taking the inside line into turn 4, so he won't be able to overtake him there. Now soon into the right-hander, and hopefully everything will work fine here. And Twister car seems to be able to defend. And Jeffrey passed there, much better grip, overtook him, and Will David be able to defend his position here? Will David be able to get the position back? I don't think so. Sector 2 has a lot of curves here, and these curves, Jeffrey should have the advantage of fresher tires, and Jeffrey should be able to build a gap now, and definitely looks that way. Yep, it does. And Jeffrey overtook for first place, Jeffrey Rietveld. Pole position of first place in the race. Very good job done by him. And now it's just gonna make the stick and try to win this race. David Dominguez trying to hang on as best as he can, but don't think he will be able to do it now, because when Sector 2 comes, Rietvald's gonna build a gap on him, because, you know, pressure tires means everything on in Sector 2, and don't think Dominguez will be able to hang on for so long. Anyways, back to Jack Keithley and Mohammed Patel, I think people are pretty closely behind, and I think Starry overtook Kanitz as well. So Starry got the job done, and now Starry's gonna try to overtake the DHR cars. And it definitely looks like Starry doesn't look like Kanitz doesn't have the straight line speed, so Starry's gonna try to get the DHR cars now. It'll be interesting to see if Starry can get this job done as well with much fresher tires. Starry closing in rather quickly on the DHR cars, which he obviously should with the fresher tires, and we'll be interesting to see who's out in front here. Kanitz doing his best to try to hang on to Starry here, but again he should, because after all, one stop is on in front and slowing everyone down. And Starry pushing hard. Starry had a good exit out of turn 12, so up the start, finish straight, and gonna try to get position back here. Maybe Starry's gonna try here. Too far away, into the S chicane. Trying to get stick right behind the DHR cars here. Maybe gonna try something into turn 4 instead. We'll see if they make that one stick. Doesn't look that way. It just seems that DHR cars have a very good top speed, so and doesn't seem that Star can do much about it except trying to catch up a little bit more in Sector 2 and maybe do our crazy overtake there instead, because he's much faster per lap, but doesn't have it in the sector where he needs to have it in order to be able to get the position. The gap between Rietveld and Dominguez is now 0.8 seconds, meaning that Rietveld is actually building a gap, and Rietveld should be able to win this race pretty comfortably now that Dominguez didn't actually hang on to him. The HR car still fighting for position with Star close behind. I think Patel took the position from Keithley. Yes, indeed he did. On the outside, I don't know if he defended his position or if he took it, but still a very good drive by Keithley there to keep third place. And Kanitz having a go on the inside. I think he almost touched the Star that a little bit, so have to be careful there, because that was a pretty bold attempt, very late attempt by Kanitz. Didn't look like he was going to try to overtake there, and glad for him it didn't turn into an accident between him and Star. Star is after all championship leader, and Star wants the position here so he can win the championship here, because Star can't actually win this particular race, but he can definitely build a big enough gap to lessen the odds of other people winning, and by Star defeating the Matos here, he makes it impossible for the Matos to beat him in the championship. So I think Star is pretty happy about that, basically taking the Matos chances out of this race. And Star made it stick, and Star is up into 4th position. And next guy I think is Mohammed Patel, or is it Jack Keithley? He's going for Mohammed Patel next, and Patel's gonna defend his third place as best as he can. And Keithley's probably very disappointed with his race. He qualified very well and had a very good first start, but then lost. And Knetz also overtook Jack Keithley. It's on very late braking. And let's take a replay of Knetz's overtake. It was a very beautiful overtake by Knetz on curvier sector, and then just going inside. Pretty dangerous move by him, but luckily Keithley was able to see him there, so Knetz gaining another position, and Keithley just moving back in order. And now Matthias Starr is gonna have a go. Gonna have a go into turn 1, I think, into the Senna chicane. Patel takes the defensive line, but Starr is gonna try to get the slipstream into turn 4 instead. Which he does, but now Knetz is closing up pretty closely behind, so Patel takes the defensive line. Starry goes on the outside. Starry makes it stick, I think. No, he didn't. Patel defends pretty hard there, so Patel defending. Starry still trying into the right-hander. Will he be able to make the move stick here? Ooh, Starry does some late braking there. And very, very close now. Just a few inches between the cars there, between the front wing of Starr and the rear wing of Patel. So very close racing. And Knetz also trying to make a better situation. Maybe he's just gonna go for a double overtake. Obviously, a pretty hard thing to do on a track like this, but can always try. And Starr is now very, very close to Patel, and I think Starr will be able to overtake this time because slipstream advantage is pretty big, and it's gaining a lot on him. And Starr going to the outside again. Does the different brake zone. Doesn't really fit for Starr there, so I think Patel is defending rather well. And into turn 4, will he be able to have an attempt there? Knetz is actually having a bit of a look. Didn't work for him there, so Patel's still defending his position, and pretty shocking that Keithley isn't being able to hang on. So Keithley doesn't look like he has the healthiest car right now, and Knetz is also looking there. Knetz going for inside line, start for outside line, so different lines here. You can see how much advantage the people with the pressure tires have. They can try different lines to overtake than the DHR guys. And Knetz, you really notice Knetz's driving lines. He seems to be opting for a bit tighter lines than Starry is. And he's trying to go on the inside of Starry all the time, and that doesn't really make him overtake, but just makes him more of a threat. And I think it's a good idea by Knetz. And Starry's having another go here. Three-way battle. The positions remain the same as they were before, and now everyone's close. Now there's 3 guys here, and they're all slipstreaming, and now Starry should have the advantage of the slipstream here. Starry gets pretty close, and Starry breaks later than the DHR car. Oh, Starry gets pushed off, and instead Knetz is able to fight off, and Starry lost another position. Ooh, that touch cost them a lot of position for Patel. Patel maybe was a little bit defending a little bit too hard against Starry there, and instead Knetz gained a position there, and don't think Starry would be happy about that situation after the race. And now Starry is gonna have to fight just to get the positions back, and Starry lost a lot, as well as Alafort is catching up to these guys now. You can see that Alafort is very, very close to Jack Keithley as well. So now Alafort will probably have a go on Jack Keithley as well. Let's see about that. That didn't really happen there, and Knetz very, very close to Patel here. And question is, does Patel have an injured car after that vicious defending, or what we're gonna call it, or doesn't he? And you see that Knetz and Patel still fighting, and Starry has actually been able to catch up to these guys pretty quickly. So very good job by Starry to just get his position back. As you can see, Jeffrey Riefeld's lead is now 3 seconds. And Kenneth went a little bit wide there, but I don't think that should be any big problem for him. And still close to Patel, and that's what matters. Still gonna try to take the. Still gonna try for an overtake here. Just 7 laps remaining of the race, so People has done a very good job here, as well as David Dominguez, P1 and P2 of this race. Question is only who's gonna be P3? Is it gonna be Mohamed Patel, or is it gonna be Kanitz? Is it gonna be Matthias Stari, or is it maybe even gonna be Jack Keithley? We're gonna have to wait and see. And Kanitz overtakes Patel for third place it seems, but he brakes a little bit late. And it looks like, yes, Patel could take the position back, and beautiful racing by these two guys, and Patel doing some very hard, but still very good defending here, and I guess Stari will have some things to say about that, but so far, you know, we can't issue any penalties or anything because we don't know what happened for sure. You know, we're gonna have to watch the replay and analyze exactly what happened, whose fault was it, if it was anyone, or was it just maybe a race incident. You know, tight racing is after all what we want to see here in FSR, so we shouldn't be complaining. Stari catching up to Kanitz again. Last time for Stari to overtake Kanitz, it took a big mistake by Kanitz, so maybe this time Stari will be able to overtake Kanitz on his own records instead. And fourth, pretty close to Jack Keithley it seems. So we're gonna have to follow fourth. And does fourth make it stick? I don't think so. Same thing with Kanitz didn't make it stick against Patel, so the people who are defending very, very well here, and Patel has to defend very, very hard here. And Kanitz managed to overtake Patel here. Question is only, can Patel take the position back or not? Don't think so, not on the outside into a right-hander, I don't think so. And Kanitz seems to have the position, and now Kanitz should be able to pull away since he has much better tires than Patel, and Kanitz can secure third place in this race. And Kanitz actually spinning off, losing several positions there, and Kanitz is down into 8th position, and I don't know, maybe we should see a replay of what happened there. Why is Kanitz down in 8th place now? It'll be interesting to see what happened to Kanitz. Yeah, he just spun it, went wide. I think that was a mistake on his own part there, and Patel back into third place, and not a very good race for Kenneth. Kenneth was hoping for a bit more, and really sad that things didn't go out for Stefan Kenneth's way, but sometimes that happens. That's racing, and now instead you have Verdinel, I think, defending against I think it's Verdinler defending a little bit, and actually Rietval is losing time to Dominguez, and that's pretty shocking. I don't know why Rietval would lose time. Is it because Rainer Room didn't give him space or something? Maybe it was a lap car, but don't think that Rietval should have any problem with Dominguez with pressure tires, but gonna have to wait and see. What has happened here? Positions has changed a lot, I think, and Star is actually in third place after this match. He actually managed to overtake Patel, meaning that Star is probably looking for a clear third place here, and next guy is Alafort, who will also try to overtake, and behind Alafort we have another guy who's catched up pretty much, and I think is that Verdler? I don't know if that's Verdler or not. But no, it's Fred Gosling, of course. Fred Gosling, the other precision guy. So Gosling is catching up. Gosling was also did 2 stoppers, so he's catching up to the DHR guys a lot. And Gosling is actually going to try to overtake Alafort here, and Alafort was formerly in the same team. And you can see Vermeulen did a free stop strategy. I don't know if it was a penalty or if it was a free stopper, but he's in 9th place. Pretty shocking. And most cars here are, Fred Gosling, I think he got it on Alafort. Yes, he did. But Gosling made a mistake, and Gosling just got the 6th position away from Alafort, and next person in is going to be the 2 DHR cars, and Jack Keithley fighting with Patel still, and Jack Keithley overtaking Patel. So these DHR guys are really having a brilliant race against each other, and they're really not showing any mercy than them being in the same team, which is pretty fascinating to see. That they decide not to back off, even though the race could have been a bit more problematic. And if you can see, the gap to Rietveld is now 3.1 seconds from Dominguez, from Dave Dominguez's point of view. So Rietveld has no problems with just a few laps left of the entire race. Hopefully things will not change. Hopefully things will not change much here. But Gosling's still fighting against. He's gonna fight against Jack Keithley here for 5th place. So let's see what Gosling decides to do. Gosling on the inside into turn 1, and Gosling I think makes it stick here into the Senna chicane, and yeah, Gosling made it stick, and Gosling up into P5. Actually, I thought might take P6 away from Jack Keithley as well. Doesn't really happen there though, because the DHR has a very good straight speed, but Gosling is up into P5. Fred Gosling P5, very good job by him. And not much left to go. Lap 70 complete. Lap 70 of 71 completed. Just a couple of minutes left before this race is over, and gonna see Jeffrey's last lap pretty soon. And Jeffrey in a comfortable lead now, and he's just finishing the 2nd sector, and they're still fighting for position at behind there. But I think it's best to follow Jeffrey now, because Jeffrey has just a few corners left. I think Jeffrey is about to win the race. Is he not, or is going to have a technical difficulty here at the end? I hope not. I hope he manages to get this car home. And it is, and Jeffrey Rietveld is the winner of the Brazilian Grand Prix in Interlagos for the World Series. Congratulations, Jeffrey. You did a magnificent job from start to finish. Jeffrey Rietveld for the Precision MacCorp team gave them another victory, and very, very good job by Jeffrey Rietveld overall. And David Dominguez obviously finishing in 2nd. And I think it was Matthias Starre finishing in 3rd. And Matthias Starre actually increasing his championship lead to Vermeulen by finishing ahead of him. Jack Keithley P4. Gosling P5. And who was P6? Alafort P6, and Mohamed Patel P7, Kanitz P8, Rainer Room P9, and Cyril Vermeulen P10. So very good job. Congratulations again to Jeffrey Rietveld. You deserved it. Pole position, amazing laps, and overtaking Dominguez when you needed to with the fresh tires, and gave Jeffrey Rietveld the win he deserved. And only 13 finishers in this race, and you can see Rietveld decides to go into the pit box, and congratulations to Jeffrey, and also congratulations to Matthias Starre in 3rd, because after all, managed to build up bigger gap to Cyril Birdmiller behind, and also I think DeMatos is now officially out of the championship hunt here. Even though maybe he has a small mathematical chance, the gap is not too big for him to, have a more than theoretical chance of championship. So that was the main broadcast from the Brazilian Grand Prix. Apologies for all the inconveniences, but we had a lot of technical difficulties. We had to form a different broadcast and a lot of different things, and Jeffrey did a good job, and not really much you can say about it, really. Hope he put a little bit too far behind, it seems, but congratulations again to Jeffrey. We'll have to see if there's anyone who decides to come into the broadcast booth with us who might be interested. Obviously this can take a couple of seconds, maybe you can hear different versions of stories. Someone who would be interesting to see would be Kanitz and see his point of view of the race. He lost a lot of positions at the end there, and maybe Starry or someone would come in. We'll have to see. As we say, an unusual amount of DNFs this race, sadly, and only 13 finishers. And could have been more, should have been more, to be honest, but that's what happened. It is the end of the season after all. Starry and Verdmill had everything to fight for. Starry came out with the upper hand on this particular occasion, and I think Starry is going for the championship win here, and Starry is so far doing a very good job at that. We'll have to look at people now. Just trying to contact people who will be interested in talking here. We had Ats Kirchhoff here earlier today talking about his connection problems. Good day to you, Riethold. How did you feel the race was today?
Yeah, great race, of course. This morning I certainly didn't expect to grab pole or even win the race. And well, the race was yeah, not that easy. I saw that Atsu spun out, left the game. That was pretty much a relief for me. Then from then it was just pushing as hard as I could, because I was on a 2-stop and most of the others were on a 1-stopper. But in the end I managed to win. Really happy about that.
Yeah, pole position and race win. Big congratulations to you. Pole position and race win is, the best thing you can achieve here, basically. I don't know if you got the fastest lap, but if you were wondering, Atsi Kirchhoff made that bit harsh maneuver on you because all the cars were sliding for him because he was experiencing some tremendous lag, and then he got disconnected after he made a second mistake.
Okay, well, I didn't really have problems with that. I didn't have damage from that bump that he gave me, so it's just sad for him that he had some connection failure.
Will we be able to see any more race wins from you this year?
I hope so. I've never driven before at Abu Dhabi, and my pace at Hungaroring wasn't that good a few months ago, so I certainly have to improve that.
Okay, what do you think about the championship standings now that Starry finished in third? I think Verdmüller finished in, was it 7th or 9th? So Starry at least increased his championship lead. Do you think that Starry will be able to pull the championship win off, or will Verdmüller be able to take it back?
Well, they are both very solid drivers, so yeah, I don't have any idea. Starry certainly, yeah, showed that he can be champion. So Cyril just have to practice a lot for the upcoming races to still try to win the championship.
Yes. Anyway, congratulations to you again, and this was Dan Rasmussen from Interlagos, Brazil. Wishing you all a very good night.